What up, YouTube? Showing this off because my birthday present came in from Maddy. It came in early, so she gave it to me early. It's a new Tissot. If you don't know anything about me, I don't have any like super expensive watches, but I do enjoy watches quite a bit. And instead of buying like Chinese ones, I still get ones that are nice quality. But they're usually like somewhere $700 and below. So I don't have any Rolexes for like 10 grand or more. But I do have like $1,000 watches, or pretty close to $1,000 watches. Let me hang on. Nah, fucking, there's no point. I wanted to get on and I wanted to talk to you about the 7 attributes or characteristics that I think are necessary in order to be successful in any walk of life, but especially in entrepreneurship, business ownership, or salesmanship, if that's the correct word for that. But there's 7, and I've got them written down over here, and I'm just going to kind of walk you through them. Number 1 is a strong work ethic. If you are able to sit down and just power through, kind of keep yourself disciplined, so I guess discipline would go into this, but I'll call it a strong work ethic for now. If you are able to sit down and without anyone telling you what to do, you take initiative, which would be, I guess, number 2, but you take the initiative to actually do the work that needs to be done, and you have a strong work ethic, so you do what needs to be done in order to be successful, that's absolutely number 1. You need to be able to do the work that needs to be done. Number 2, initiative. Taking initiative without someone telling you what to do, telling you what you need to learn, or just like overall like micromanaging you is a wild factor that would be in this all the time. If you take initiative to, learn something new, improve your skills, you go to a seminar, you purchase a book, any of these things, you are going to be far ahead of the pack in pretty much anything that you choose to do, because most people, they're not self-taught, they're not autodidacts, and they won't take the initiative because it's easier to be lazy than it is to make changes. So if you have initiative and you want to continue to grow and you have this growth mindset that you take initiative on to improve your skills and yourself, you're going to be far above everybody else and you're going to be wildly successful. Number 3, optimism. If you are optimistic in terms of like what the macroeconomy is going to do, what your abilities are, what can be achieved. If you look at like people who are very successful and you say like, I could do that too, or I could be close to that, or they did it, why can't I? That's not a pessimistic view. That's a very optimistic view of yourself, your skills, your abilities, your talents, and what you are going to be able to create for yourself. You will be massively successful. Number 4, confidence. You need to have confidence in every walk of life. You can be incredibly optimistic about everything, but the moment that you hit some pushback on yourself, you need the confidence to be able to go through that and know that what you're offering, what you're doing is right. It's on your right path. It's what you should be doing. It's what you want to be doing. You just need confidence to know that it will work. You work, and therefore you will make something work. So you need to have some sort of proof of concept in your life somewhere. You need to have proven that you have done hard work before and you've seen like minor successes or something like this, but you absolutely need confidence. Number 5, resilience. You need to have a thick layer of skin, or what people call resiliency, or I guess it's the other way around, thick layer of skin, or what people call resiliency. Because no matter what you do, you are going to face challenges. There's going to be times when momentum is not swinging in your direction, and you are going to have to force yourself through the pushback, and you're going to have to fight through it, which is why it's called resilience. You're going to have to fight through it like a warrior to be able to get to where you want to be, and you're going to hit it at different plateaus. And with that, you need to be absolutely resilient to push back. You need to have the confidence to push through. So those two kind of go hand in hand. Number 6, you need attention to detail. If you are someone who is very sloppy in the way that you execute on things. You create a plan, you don't stick to it. Or you land your first customer, you lay out details and then you don't pay any attention to them. The money is made in the details of anything. In the contract, it's made in the contract. But in the details are where things actually get messed up, because it's maybe like everything will have gone smooth overall, but there's like minor details that chipped away at your customer to be like, okay, he doesn't actually know what he's doing, or else he wouldn't have missed this. So you need a strong attention to detail, and then to say, hey, Mr. and Mrs. Customer, we messed up right here in our opinion. I don't know how you feel about this, but this is the way that we're going to actually attack this in the next step so that we're better for you on the next one. And that attention to details, customers will appreciate it, and it'll make you look at your processes so in depth that you can find where you can automate things out, or where you can delegate things out, or where you need to be involved. And if you have that level of attention to detail to your entire company, your service offerings as a whole is where you start. But if you have that attention to detail with your company, or where you are, or the role that you perform, you're going to be massively successful. And finally, number 7, enthusiasm. You have to enjoy what you do. You don't necessarily have to enjoy every moment of it. You don't have to enjoy every single bit of the task. I don't enjoy every bit of what I do, and I own the company, but I have not delegated any of it out yet, or I did, but I've taken it back. You have to have an enthusiasm for what you do. I love what I do in a general sense. Moving freight around the country doesn't sound all that sexy or beautiful or anything, but I absolutely love every aspect of it. I love how busy it is. I love that I can always find something to do. I can always call a new prospect. I can always call and talk to a customer. I love talking to drivers. I think drivers move America, so I think it's very cool. And then, I've dug into like the federal highway system, how everything got created, how freight used to move on horse and buggies, and it used to move very locally, and then moved into trains and intermodal, and then we developed the highway systems, and then it moved in bigger trucks, and then bigger trucks, and now it's in tractor trailer trucks. I find it all to be absolutely fascinating, so I am very enthused every day to do what I do. Some days I wake up and I may say like, man, I don't really want to make sales calls today, or I don't want to cold call anybody today, or I don't want to really get told to F off today. But I always power through that, and that's, resiliency, because those are battles that you have to have in your own mind. You have to have the confidence. For me, in all of these things, I can speak about all of them now. My work ethic, it's always been there. I don't need anybody to tell me like, hey, you need to get to work, you need to do this. I always can see kind of like a general strategy of how to move into the next step, and then I will take the initiative to go and do so. I was born optimistic, I would probably have to say. I've never really had a pessimistic approach to anything or any view on anything. I've always said like, today's been great, but tomorrow's always going to be better. Or something like this, I've never, picked up the phone once and been like, this person's absolutely going to tell me to F off. I'm usually like, hey, I'm offering my services because I think I'm the best at this. I'm offering my services to you. And, if you choose me, I think your life will be better, and I think my life will be better, because, this is going to be a two-way symbiotic relationship. It's not, me taking advantage. It's me offering you something, but I want to give you something. And in return, I want the money, but I want to be better for you than your current services are. Resilience, I get hit with no's all the time. I get hit with a lot of people just not answering the phone. In this current market that we're in terms of freight brokerage, people picking up the phone is probably the rarest thing that's ever happened in terms of like transportation management, logistics managers. I don't call many people who it's their first initial reaction to always pick up their phone. They know who's calling them. They know it's a sales call. So, I'm optimistic that if somebody answers the phone, that I'm going to offer them something great, and that they can feel from my energy and who I am that I'm not there to just, scam them or anything like this. I don't even need to rush you. But I'm absolutely confident in the fact that I can help somebody, and anybody. I think my attention to detail when I am moving freight across the country, when I'm moving a customer's load, my attention to detail not only in, the carrier choice that I pick, watching them, but just my attention to detail in making sure that everything goes correctly, from you staying updated all the time, to where I quote you, to how much profit margin that I am actually willing to make. I'm not willing to make above 18%. You know, if I quote somebody and then I go and find a carrier who is actually perfect for the route and I'm about to make 25-30% on it, even if my customer agreed to it, I will go back to them and say, hey, you can actually move that down to this number. You know, I got it taken care of. Don't worry about that. But I'm like, I overquoted. I didn't overquote you. Like, it'll be probably this amount the next time. But as for now, I found the perfect carrier for this. They were willing to do it for, you know, this amount just to get back home. So as a benefit, because, you know, our costs weren't as high, your costs aren't as high. So it's like those attentions to detail that is a very, very great thing, because customers appreciate it. I would appreciate it. And, you know, if you're always going to come at it in the terms of, like, you know, what would they appreciate, you know, that's what I would appreciate. So that's what I do. And then I already spoke about enthusiasm. I love doing this. I absolutely love sales. I chose this career at a very young age. I always wanted to get into sales or business ownership. And then when I got into sales, I realized that I wanted to be what was a sales manager at the time, or like a vice president of sales, where you could kind of just like up and decide like where to work from, where to do this from, because you're kind of in charge of the team. And then I realized that that actually happened because he was the business owner, he was the entrepreneur. He just also happened to manage the salespeople at the time. So, you know, there's always been a level of enthusiasm. I've always loved sales. I've always wanted to get better at it. I love sociology. I love psychology. Not that I go around, you know, persuading or manipulating people all the time, but I give my point of view, and I try to hope that rubs off on people. You know, if it doesn't, fair game. You know, you have your own choice, you have your own free will. That's not going to hurt me at all. There's enough people in the world who will want what I have and want to work with me just because I am me. So I don't have to worry too much about everybody liking me. I think it's going to be pretty binary. I think it'll end up pretty much about 50%. If I wanted to mold myself and everything, I'm sure I could get it up into the 70 and 80%. But I don't want to do that. I don't want to sacrifice myself, my morals, my opinions just to gain another customer. Some people will. You know, that's completely on you. That is your free will. That is your free choice. If I worked for a company, I would have to do it. I used to have to do it. I don't want to do it anymore. But that's kind of what I have going on. So those are the 7 characteristics, attributes, that I believe that you will need to have, or everyone needs to have, in order to be successful in whatever field that they choose. Whether you want to be successful in sales, whether you want to be successful in entrepreneurship, business ownership, or in any operational role or any role that you want. These are the attributes that are going to take you to the next level at every single step, whether you are at the bottom of the totem pole now or at the top. If you can continue to strengthen these 7 things, it'll be light years for you. Well, congratulations on your first step to success. Watching the video, probably taking it into account. Leave a like below if you enjoyed. Comment below if you think I missed anything, if you think it could have been 8 characteristics or 9 or 10. Let me know if you think I missed anything. And then always subscribe for hearing more tips, more topics. And then of course follow along for the daily vlogs as I build out my company. Next year I plan to be very, very high in multi-7-figure company. And then beyond that, you know, we're going to reach 8 figures and beyond. So it's going to be a fun time. But make sure to follow along. Leave a like, leave a comment, subscribe. We'll see you again.